There was a time when cars were built to last, not for a few years, but for generations. Steel was real, engines had soul, and reliability wasn't an option. It was a promise. These weren't just cars, they were companions. They pulled trailers, crossed mountains, survived storms, and somehow they're still going. In this episode of Regal Rides, we're counting down 10 old cars that were built to last forever. Machines so tough, they've outlived trends, outlasted rivals. But here's the real question. What kind of vehicle survives wars, deserts, decades of abuse, and still runs like it just rolled off the lot? Let's start with one of the most unkillable machines ever made. Number 1. Toyota Land Cruiser J40, the desert's iron horse. There's a reason the Toyota Land Cruiser J40 isn't just respected, it's revered. Born in the 1960s and produced for over 2 decades, this rugged 4x4 was never about flash. It was about getting the job done, whether that meant crawling through rocky ravines, hauling supplies in the Sahara, or surviving daily life on a South American cattle ranch. Its design, simple, square and solid. No fragile electronics, just a naturally aspirated inline-6 or diesel engine, body-on-frame construction, and enough ground clearance to climb a mountain in reverse. In regions where the nearest mechanic might be 500 miles away, the J40 was the one vehicle you could trust to get you home. From the Middle East to Australia, it was a workhorse for farmers, freedom fighters, explorers, and emergency responders. Even today, you'll find J40s in active duty, many still using their original engines after half a century. This wasn't a car built to impress, it was built to outlast everything around it. Now, if you think the J40 was tough, wait until you meet a German sedan that clocked over 1 million miles without breaking a sweat. Number 2. Mercedes-Benz W123, the million-mile machine. If reliability had a badge, it would be a 3-pointed star, and it would sit on the hood of the Mercedes-Benz W123. Produced from 1976 to 1985, this car became a global symbol of over-engineering and unmatched longevity. It wasn't just built to last a long time, it was built to last forever. Powered by bulletproof inline-4 and inline-5 diesel engines, the W123 wasn't fast, but it was indestructible. Its mechanical simplicity, rugged construction, and legendary Bosch fuel systems allowed it to thrive in climates as diverse as the icy roads of Norway and the dusty streets of Nigeria. In fact, many W123s are still used as taxis in parts of Africa and the Middle East today, clocking in well over 500,000 to 1 million miles with only basic maintenance. Owners often say, you don't drive a W123, you invest in it. With its thick-gauge steel panels, high-quality interior materials, and unmatched ride quality, this Mercedes was less of a luxury and more of a commitment to quality. It didn't try to wow you with gadgets, it impressed you by outliving most cars in your neighborhood. But if you thought Germany could build them strong, wait till you see what Sweden rolled out. Boxy, brilliant and built to take a beating. The next car is a Volvo classic you'll definitely remember. Number 3. Volvo 240, the Swedish brick that refused to die. When you think of the word sturdy, the Volvo 240 should come to mind. Produced from 1974 to 1993, this Swedish icon earned the nickname the Brick for good reason. It looked like it was carved from granite, and drove like it could go through it too. Underneath that boxy silhouette was one of the most dependable powertrains ever built, the Volvo B21 and B230 inline-4 engines. These red block engines were famously overbuilt, featuring forged components, simple fuel systems, and easy-to-service layouts. Many owners report 300,000 to 500,000 miles on original engines and transmissions with just routine oil changes and basic maintenance. The Volvo 240 wasn't flashy. It didn't care about trends. It cared about safety, longevity, and getting your family home, year after year, winter after brutal winter. Volvo crash-tested this car into concrete walls back in the 70s, and it still outperformed rivals in real-world collisions 2 decades later. Police departments in Scandinavia trusted it. So did rural school teachers, city commuters, and long-distance travelers. Today, a well-kept 240 is a rolling time capsule of what quality first used to mean. But if you think this Swedish tank was durable, wait until you meet a Japanese pickup so tough it became a global legend. Number 4. Toyota Hilux, the pickup that just won't die. If you had to pick one vehicle to survive the apocalypse, the Toyota Hilux would be a strong contender. Introduced in 1968 and refined through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the Hilux gained a reputation for being virtually unkillable, so much so that it became a global symbol of trust in extreme conditions. Built with a simple ladder-frame chassis, leaf spring suspension, and stout inline-4 engines like the 22R and 2L diesel, the Hilux didn't try to impress anyone with luxury. Instead, it delivered on one promise. No matter what, it will keep going. That's why you'll see them hauling goods across deserts in the Middle East, bouncing through jungles in Southeast Asia, or climbing volcanic slopes in Central America. One of the Hilux's most legendary moments came from BBC's Top Gear, where it was deliberately set on fire, submerged in ocean water, dropped from heights, and smashed into buildings. And yet it still ran. This wasn't staged drama. Mechanics barely touched it to bring it back. The Hilux simply refused to die. Its resilience made it the vehicle of choice for aid organizations, rebel groups, and anyone who needed a truck that wouldn't fail, even in the world's most hostile environments. And while the Hilux ruled the backroads and battlefields, our next contender quietly conquered American highways, clocking hundreds of thousands of miles in the hands of humble, hard-working families. Get ready to meet a sedan that made dependability a household name. Number 5. Honda Accord. The silent marathon runner. In the late 80s and throughout the 90s, if you bought a Honda Accord, you weren't just buying a car, you were buying peace of mind. These generations of the Accord didn't shout for attention, they earned respect 1 mile at a time. And often that mile count stretched beyond 300,000, with the original engine and transmission still running strong. Honda's legendary engineering came to life in models like the 1989-1993 Accord. With engines like the F22A, a naturally aspirated, fuel-injected inline-4, you got a motor that was simple, efficient, and practically immune to abuse. Pair that with a smooth-shifting automatic or manual transmission, a lightweight body and double wishbone suspension, and you had a car that offered comfort, control, and crazy long life. But what really made these Accords last? Routine maintenance was easy, parts were affordable, and crucially, nothing was overcomplicated. No turbochargers to fail, no computers to glitch, just precision Japanese manufacturing at its peak. It's no wonder families passed them down to their kids, or that many are still on the road today, serving as commuters, beta cars, or cherished classics. But from a quiet Japanese sedan, we now head to the wild American West, where big block engines roamed free, and one massive SUV was built to take punishment like a champion. Number 6. Chevrolet Suburban 1980s, the iron giant of the American highway. Before SUVs became soccer mom crossovers, they were built for real work, and the Chevrolet Suburban, especially models from the late 60s through the 80s, was the undisputed king of the road. Big, bold, and brutally strong, it was America's longest-running nameplate for a reason. This beast was built to last. Riding on a full-size truck frame, the Suburban shared DNA with the CK pickup line. That meant a heavy-duty chassis, rear-wheel or 4x4 drivetrains, and powertrains like the legendary small block 350 or the torque-heavy 454 big block V8. These engines were simple, reliable, and engineered to haul boats, tow trailers, or carry the entire family on cross-country road trips, decade after decade. What made these Suburbans special wasn't just their strength, it was their endurance. Their mechanical systems were easy to access and maintain, and their bodies were built with thick-gauge steel, offering surprising protection in an era before modern safety tech. Many of these trucks racked up 300,000 miles or more, often surviving multiple owners and still running strong. From government fleets to off-grid ranchers, the Suburban became a trusted workhorse that wouldn't back down, no matter the weather, terrain, or task. But from America's wide-open highways, we're now shifting gears to a lean, mean 4x4 machine that earned its stripes not with size but with grit. Number 7. Jeep Cherokee XJ, 1984-2001. The compact 4x4 that conquered everything. When Jeep launched the Cherokee XJ in 1984, it didn't just create a new SUV, it sparked a revolution. This wasn't a lumbering full-size truck or a flimsy soft-roader. The XJ was something new, a unibody SUV with true off-road capability and an engine so tough it practically refused to quit. At the heart of its legendary reputation was the 4.0-liter inline-six engine introduced in 1987. This cast-iron workhorse produced smooth torque, shrugged off abuse, and was known to last well over 300,000 miles with minimal maintenance. Mechanics across the country still call it one of the most dependable American engines ever built. The XJ's simple electronics, rugged drivetrains like the NP231 transfer case, and straightforward solid axle suspension made it easy to repair, easy to upgrade, and hard to kill. Whether crawling over rocks in Moab, blasting through snowdrifts in Montana, or just serving as a dependable daily driver, the Cherokee XJ did it all, and then some. It was used by police departments, off-road enthusiasts, families, and survivalists alike. And even today, XJs with original drivetrains are still hitting trails and turning heads. But what if I told you there's a car even older, designed before World War II, that became the most produced vehicle of a single platform in history? Next up, a humble German bug that helped motorize the world. Number 8. Volkswagen Beetle, 1938 to 2003, the people's car that outlived generations. Few cars have a legacy as vast or as durable as the Volkswagen Beetle. Conceived in the late 1930s under Ferdinand Porsche's direction, the Beetle was built to be simple, economical, and above all reliable. And boy did it deliver. With over 21 million units produced, it became one of the longest-running and most widely used vehicles in automotive history. What made the Beetle nearly immortal was its air-cooled flat-four engine, tucked in the rear and built with minimal moving parts. No radiator, no water pump, just a tough, simple motor that could take a beating and keep humming along. It ran cool in the desert, warm in the snow, and was famously easy to repair with basic tools, even on the side of the road. Its body was compact but tough, and the drivetrain's design made it a favorite in developing countries where access to service and parts was limited. In fact, Beetles were still being produced in Mexico as late as 2003, long after they disappeared from European and American showrooms. From post-war Europe to California surf culture to rugged South American roads, the Beetle became a global workhorse, one that kept moving long after others gave up. But while the Beetle thrived with simplicity, our next legend earned its stripes with brute strength and V8 muscle, serving police forces, taxi fleets, and families for decades. Up next, the indestructible full-size sedan that patrolled America's streets, number 9, Ford Crown Victoria, 1992 to 2011. America's indestructible workhorse. If you spent any time on American roads in the 1990s or 2000s, chances are you saw a Ford Crown Victoria, probably with a light bar on top or a taxi number on the side. This full-size sedan wasn't flashy, but it was built like a tank. And for millions of miles it did exactly what it was made to do, go the distance. The secret behind the Crown Vic's legendary durability was its old-school, body-on-frame construction, one of the last sedans to feature it. Combined with a 4.6-litre modular V8 rear-wheel drive and a rugged 4-speed automatic transmission, this car was engineered for abuse. It could take potholes, curb jumping, and hours of idling without flinching. Police departments loved it because it was easy to maintain, parts were dirt cheap, and even after years of patrol duty they'd still run strong. Many decommissioned units were sold off to civilians and taxi fleets, where they routinely logged 300,000 miles, some even more with just regular oil changes and minimal repairs. It wasn't glamorous, but the Crown Vic earned respect the old-fashioned way, by never quitting. And now we come to our final stop, a car that blended Japanese precision with sports car spirit. It may surprise you, but this lightweight legend stood the test of time with a heart as strong as its steel. Let's close out with a Datsun that defined reliability and style. Number 10. Datsun 240Z, 1969 to 1973, the reliable rebel of the open road. When the Datsun 240Z hit American shores in 1970, it didn't just turn heads, it flipped the entire sports car segment on its head. Here was a sleek, affordable coupe from Japan that not only looked like a European exotic but outlasted most of them on the road. Under the hood was the L24 inline-6 engine, a 2.4-litre powerhouse known for its smooth performance and rock-solid reliability. Paired with twin Hitachi carburetors and a 4-speed manual transmission, the 240Z delivered the kind of raw, connected driving experience that enthusiasts craved, without the breakdowns or maintenance nightmares common in pricier European rivals. What really set the 240Z apart was its engineering simplicity. Nissan, then Datsun in the US, focused on quality materials, a lightweight unibody structure, and mechanical components that could take a beating. Enthusiasts still speak of 240Zs crossing the 200,000-mile mark with only basic upkeep, and many have become daily drivers decades after they were built. It wasn't just reliable, it was revolutionary. The 240Z proved that sports cars didn't need to be fragile or fussy. They could be fun and forever, and that made it unforgettable. From off-road legends to long-haul sedans, these machines weren't just built to drive, they were built to endure. But what really keeps them alive today? Let's wrap it all up with one last thought. Built to last, remembered forever. What made these cars so special wasn't just the metal, the engines or the badges on the hood. It was the philosophy behind them. These machines came from an era when cars weren't designed to be disposable. They were built with pride, purpose, and permanence. They served as family haulers, workhorses, off-road explorers, and road trip companions. Some took you home from the hospital the day you were born, and others are still running today, long after the factories that made them have shut down. That's the power of timeless engineering, when craftsmanship is valued over cost-cutting and durability isn't a feature, it's a promise. In a world of planned obsolescence, these 10 legends remind us of what cars used to be, and why they still matter today. Whether it's the bulletproof Toyota Hilux, the million-mile Mercedes, or the unkillable Beetle, Each of these machines carries stories that live on with every turn of the key. If you grew up with one of these cars or still drive one, drop your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear how far yours has gone. And if you believe they don't build them like they used to, you're right. So subscribe to Regal Rides for more classics that weren't just made for the road, they were made to last forever. Like, comment, subscribe, because this journey into automotive history is just getting started.